I'm Diana Falzone for Fox 411. Michael Franzese was born into a mafia family as the son of one of New York's most feared enforcers. He moved up the ranks and eventually became a made man, bringing in millions every week for the Colombo crime family. By age 35, he was listed among Fortune magazine's survey of the 50 most powerful and wealthy mafia bosses in America. But that's all behind him now. His life is the subject of the upcoming film God the Father, and he joins me now in studio. Michael, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So how did you get out of the mafia?
Well, it wasn't easy, Diana. It was, there's no blueprint for walking away from the mob publicly as I did. So I can only tell you it was many, many years of struggles and contract on my life, and my dad disowned me, and just several years of, getting through all of this. And it was tough.
Well, you never snitched. You weren't a rat, as they say. Is that why you think you walked away with your life?
Eventually I think it kind of eased things, but because in the beginning they thought that's what I was going to do, that's what everybody does, but I didn't. And, what really happened is I just outlasted everybody. I mean, everybody I know is either dead or in prison for the rest of their life.
Wow, that's a survival story.
It is, and you got to understand, I knew the life intimately well. I was at a pretty high level for a long period of time, so I knew what the guys would do and wouldn't do. So I was able to, really kind of anticipate and make provision for that.
So you strategized.
I did, yes.
Now, the Pope just excommunicated some members of the Mafia. What do you make of that, being a man of faith now?
Well, I always say this, the Mafia life is an evil life. And I'm not calling the guys evil, because I was one of them. I'm just blessed to be out of it. But, I don't know of any family, of any member of that life, including my own, now, not my wife and kids, but brothers, sisters, mother, father, that hasn't been totally devastated. Devastated. I don't mean hurt, I mean devastated. And so I can understand the Pope taking that position as long as he's, saying that about the life and not the men that belong to that life.
Right, because you're saying the men can be saved if they find a different path. Absolutely. Right. And speaking of your past, Jimmy Hoffa's body, do you have any idea where it is? Everybody wants to know. It's practically folklore. All
right, I'm going to tell you this, and I've been asked that question 1,000 times. He's not in the Meadowlands, and they'll never find his body. Now, I had nothing to do with it, don't get me wrong, but you hear things, and Jimmy's gone. Let's put it that way.
He's definitely gone.
He's gone.
Right. No Elvis sightings going on there.
No, and when they started digging up, I don't know if you recall this, the informant came out and they said, oh, we know where Hoffa's body is. I kept getting these texts and emails. Oh, Michael, maybe you were wrong all these years. I said, well, let's wait and see. Never found his
Even
body.
as a kid growing up in Jersey, my friends and I would say that he was in the woods somewhere, and we would go on hunts trying to find Jimmy Hoffa's body. That's very Jersey,
really?
Isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't realize it was to that extreme.
It was to that extreme.
Wow.
Yeah, we were some messed up kids. Are you a Sopranos fan?
I was for the first season, but I will tell you this. If a mob boss was ever visiting a psychiatrist, he'd be in the trunk of the car by the end of the week, along with the psychiatrist. So that's kind of my reality check on that show.
Right, so it's not an actual depiction of mob life.
No, in some ways it is, some ways it is. I thought it was a great show, don't get me wrong. Brilliantly acted, everything well. What intrigued me was the whole family, relationship. That whole thing got to me.
Yeah, you would say so. At the end, it's kind of unclear what happens to Tony. What do you think? Do you think he was killed?
I don't like the ending. But,
you didn't like the ending?
No, I like things to be wrapped up, and
right.
especially that it's the end of the show. If it was another season, okay. But who knows? I don't know what it was in David Chase's head. I was supposed to be a consultant on that show when he was developing it for Fox, and I passed on it. It just goes to show you how smart I am, right? And then it becomes a big hit on HBO. But
well, you were able to do such an excellent job of really having two parts to your life. One being a member of the mob and now being a man of faith and sharing your story. Do you think that other members can have the same fate as you?
Well, yeah, I'm nobody special, Diana. I just happen to be very blessed with the woman that's in my life. She was a strong Christian and had a powerful influence on me. My mother-in-law, the same thing, powerful woman of God. And then, the way circumstances just led me, on this course that I believe God navigated for me. If I can do it, why couldn't anybody else?
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us a little tidbit on where Jimmy Hoffa just might be.
Thank you.
All right, you can find out more about the upcoming movie at godthefathermovie.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Diana Falzone.